when you hear the topic of racism, or you are involved in or aware of things that are happening, where inside of your body do you get charged? First of all, what physical response do you have?
I think it's just all over the body. I just get, it's just like, irritating, and like, this is unfair, life is unfair. And they've taken so much from us. They are continuing to take so much from us. And that kind of, that line of thinking. And
Who is the they that are the persecutor that you are putting in your head?
the foreigners, especially the white foreigners.
So your programming, because it is not true, you did not come in with as a new, fresh, new spirit, soul baby, mad at white people, white foreigners. This is something that you learned, much like many white people did with black people. White people did not come in with any prejudices or any type of issue with black people. Little children, when they see each other, if they were all in a preschool class together and they had not been programmed yet by parents and grandparents and did not hear things about Indian boys or black girls or white this or any other culture, they would all, you could have every culture in there, and they would all make friends with each other, not seeing we'll say this, they would notice a little, for example, a little boy or a little girl, if they put their arms next to each other, they would notice, hey, you're darker than I am. Cool. Look, you have blue eyes, I have brown. I have blonde hair, you have black hair. My hair is straight and your hair is curly. They would notice the difference, but not judge one as better or worse. They wouldn't say, oh, I suck because I don't have curly hair like you. They don't go, oh, I'm better than you because my skin is lighter. They just play together. They just see the soul in the other, provided that they were not conditioned at home to hear things about some race or some nationality or anything like that. So this is how you know it is something that comes from, not from you and your soul, but it comes from the people that not only raised you, but the people in your society that had maybe an issue with a white foreigner, or knew someone that had an issue with a white foreigner, or you hear on the news or on social media something happening against your race or against your color. And this is where, much like, it's not a different conversation, you see, from any of your other patterns, any of you, that hold you back and limit you. This is a pain body. The subject of the pain body is in the category of you being a Black woman. For someone else, it might be a category of not being able to make enough money. For someone else, it might be daddy abandoned me and therefore all men suck and I can't get a relationship because man sucks. It doesn't, we say it in this way. The patterns are all different, but they've all been learned, and they're all under the big category of not true, and under the category of this thought process, this perspective, these emotions limit you from being the divine being that you are. And so we are proud of you, and more individuals, black, white, tan, blue, purple, doesn't matter. All human beings need to be coming to this exact question of what's inside of me that is making me prejudice against someone that looks or acts differently than me. Mm. That's the question, because that really is how change will happen in your universe. This is starting with you being able to say, I have to forgive myself for the places I was judging others. I have to release the hurts and the resentments within myself, whether they were right or wrong, whether they happened or didn't. You could, each side, if it's a black and a white issue, each side could argue for why the other one sucks. And just like anything, you have people in this world, it doesn't matter what nationality they are, what occupation they have. You have people that are kind, and loving and connected. And you have people all the way on the other end that are so disconnected and so judgmental and are so in much fear. And it is that fear of the unknown that creates the prejudices. And if you believe something, if you're a little girl and you're playing and your mom and dad said that white foreigners are bad people because they slaved our people, for example, and you're like, what's a slave? I don't know. I'm happy little girl playing with my toy. And they talk about this around you. You never had a personal experience as a young child, but that becomes what you are cocooned in. And then from that cocoon, from that imprint, from that belief, you need to, through your eyes, you will attract, because that is what you believe and you create from your beliefs, you will attract white foreigners that are no good. Just like a white person living in America, for example, a little girl like Christy, for example, her very best friend when she was a little girl, she was a neighbor girl down the street. There was a family. The man, the husband, the father, was as dark as they come. And the mother was an albino. It really was ebony and ivory. And their children, they had 6 children. They were all in color. And Christy didn't see that. She actually was jealous because Feifei had those cute little pom-pom hair and she couldn't get that because her hair wouldn't do that. She wasn't jealous, but she liked and she would squish Feifei's hair. She loved Feifei and she loved her sisters and Feifei's brother. And she didn't know the difference. So you have someone like Christy who didn't know the difference, but would hear from her people around her that some black guy stole something, or the news says and demonetizes or makes out someone to be a demon because they are a black male that did something. Well, there's crime that white people do as much as black people do. But it is the condition that is happening. And it is you all being able to say, this is not my perspective. And this is not happening in my life. I was not handcuffed to be a slave. Were you?
No.
Were you ever a slave?
No, I have never been a slave.
Was your mother or father a slave?
No.
Was their mother or father a slave?
No.
So tell us, we've just gone back 3 generations. Where does this come from? What is the imprint that says, and we are so grateful for you bringing this up, because now more than ever, this is a conversation of where people have to take responsibility for their own imprints, for their own saying, you know what? I'm a white woman, I'm a white man, and I have an issue with a black man or a black woman, and own it in themselves to be able to heal that and release that. Let go of the cording from all of the years and the family lineage of what brought them to that perspective. And same vice versa. A black man or a black woman having prejudice for a black woman or a black man, or a white woman or a white man. It is an individual healing process, just like as if you were imprinted with lack and limitation around money. It is your own imprints. And yes, it is cultural. So in that sense, and with everything we said in the beginning, this whole entire pandemic is a gift for one reason and one reason only, because it is amplification time. It is going to amplify everything that has been under the surface, just sitting there. It is coming up. Before COVID happened, were you worried about all this?
Not in the same sense.
Exactly.
But like you are saying, it has been something that has been like underneath. But recently, there has been some kind of uprisings, if I may put it that way.
Yes.
That people are raising their voices to say, for a long time, foreigners, especially white foreigners, Indian foreigners, and now Chinese foreigners, they're doing kind of the colonization kind of things where they come, take our land from us, take our things from us, and things like that. And so that is like you are saying, it's getting amplified. The conversation is getting amplified, and in the country. And I don't want to get charged with that. Like I was saying, I just want to heal from this and look at people the same.
Well, again, like we were saying, if you have little children in a room together, they won't say, oh, look it, you're black, I'm white, we're the same. There are differences, and you all are created differently. Everybody on this call, you're all from different backgrounds. You all have different nationalities. You're all very different. You all look different. Guess what? It's supposed to be that way. Diversity was the divine plan. How boring for the divine if everybody had the same scenarios, the same backgrounds, the same ethnicity, the same color, that lived in the same country. How boring. This is why the divine decided to move beyond the slugs and the snails. They weren't doing much and they were very boring. And so anteed it up and created different creatures. Because as a human being, that the divine can individually create through you uniquely, it is a very exciting thing. And what will be created from you, inside of you, and maybe what you're passionate about and what you want to stand out for, and what maybe becomes your purpose, your crusade, if you will, is different for you than anybody else. But we are interested in your question, because it is a brilliant question that every single human being need to ask themselves. I am being lit up by what is happening with the conversation around race. It's getting me. And because it's getting me, it's in me. And I need to do something to either forgive the past, not forget. We are not saying don't look at things that didn't exist, but do what you normally do. Forgive, let go. Just ask yourself, what do I want? Can I make a difference? What do I want? How do I want to envision my country, my city, my state? How do I want to envision Black and white people coming together, or Chinese people? It doesn't matter. How do I want the world to come together? How would the divine in me see what it intended for, to be able to move through me? And if I'm out of alignment with that, if I've got my pain points, I'm not doing the divine co-creation. I'm not in alignment with that, with the divine. So what do I need to do? So what is the issue in you? Is it, it's not fair? I'm being stolen from? What are the beliefs around it? Because this is where we want you to sit with yourself, with a journal, with a pen, and say, okay, this is in me. This is not an outside thing anymore. This is not about protesting and making people change. This is, if I'm going to change one person, and the only person I have responsibility for is my own consciousness. If I have that power and I have that willingness, and I do, what is it that gets lit up in me? What is it? Do you know?
Right now, I don't know. I think it's just the belief that it's unfair.
Yes. So that's victim mentality.
Mm.
When you're a victim, everything is being done to you, and there's nothing you can do, and it's unfair.
Yeah.
But if you're out of drama triangle and you are in circle of love, and you are connected with, just like we were talking with our other dear friend here, if she could heal her health, and many, 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 many other humans have, by connecting only with well-being and not anything else. If someone can heal their money issues, their health issues, their issues in their relationships, couldn't you heal the dissonance inside of you and come back to a place of peace as it related to this subject?
I can.
You can. From a place of connection and love. Only from a place of connection and love, because through separation, and they did this to us and we did this to them, and all of that separation consciousness, that is such three-dimensional old stuff. We need to move into, you all need, we're already there beyond it, but you all need as a human race, and this is what this amplification time is calling for, is to move into the fifth dimensional reality, where you're connected to your divine self, where the unlimited flow of love and acceptance and abundance and well-being is always flowing. So our assignment to you, and this is stirring up a lot in you, and this is good, because our assignment to you is, we want you to take a journal and a pen and get really clear on all of the thoughts and all of the beliefs that are coming from lack, that are coming from words you heard from your government, from people down the street, from parents, from all the people you were influenced by. How did they play a victim? And ask yourself, what do you want? Write it all down. And we will, next time we are with you, we will do some process to release the energy of it, but just the awareness of it, having that awareness of it, and then having the acceptance of it, feeling the places where you feel a victim, where you feel separated, where you feel the unfairness, feel it, let it go, be willing to let it go and forgive, and then align with how you want to feel, align with the freedom, align with the power. This is what will change not only you, but the whole issue of racism in your world. What if it started with you, dear one?
Wow, that's big.
It's everything. It's the oneness. It's the oneness. You really are. Even though you look different, you're all really from the divine. You've got the same divine breathing through each and every one of you. And it was created that way, to be diverse. You don't look at a rainbow and go, oh, I'm yellow. Well, I'm blue. Well, my yellow's better than blue. They're all beautiful colors. And when they all come together, oh, wow, a rainbow. Can you imagine a world where all the people that were different can come together and love one another and not be afraid of each other? And the jails and the people that you put in your jails because they're criminals is not because someone is black or white or green or blue or whatever color or whatever nationality. Let's look through the eyes of, are these people in alignment with their divine and coming from love? Or are they in drama triangle and coming from lack, coming from victim consciousness? And you decide who you want to be, dear one.
Thank you, Council.
You're welcome, dear. Thank you for this beautiful discussion. More people need to hear this. We love you. And we see you making big shifts, freeing yourself. It's all about your freedom. Lovely.
Yes.
Very well.